Welcome back to the program. And so it's time for some laughs. Of course, I'm sure we've introduced some to you already. Our guest today is Kojah Kane, comedian, event host, and actor who joins us on the program now. Hi, it's good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Of course, you know that I'm starting with this hair. This is what some ladies are looking for. This dreads, the length, the density.
Yeah.
So we're not giving publicity to any products, but what are you doing?
God's grace. It's my genes, I guess. My mom, my dad. My mom is closing in on 70, and her hair is still very full. My dad also used to have very great hair on his head. So I think God just took what I was supposed to have on my chin, like all the facial hair I'm supposed to have. He just took it and just placed it on my head. No products, basically. Like I said, it's just.
We're not even giving publicity to any product.
Even if I don't have to pay, they have to pay through their nose for any publicity.
Okay, so what about the identity? Why do you choose this?
Did I choose this? So all my life, I think I've always just liked to. I don't know. I've always just been the person that just stands out. There was I don't think I was intentional about this one, because I'm quite intentional about a lot of things. But with my hair, I don't think I was intentional about it. I just woke up one morning and I just made the decision to just keep my hair. And, the plan wasn't for it to be this long, actually. But I was struggling to maintain what the initial plan was. The initial plan is what, the Hispanic guys have with their hair. There was a time where you see a lot of Hispanic guys have full hairs, and because of their texture and all that stuff, they can maintain it. But for us, black people, our hair is thicker, I think. So I just thought to just let it grow and, just turn it to locks.
Okay, so let's get into comedy now. And we've, over the years, heard a lot of themes as far as comedy is concerned. We've heard Night of 1,000 Laughs and, what comedians choose to go by. But don't judge me. Yeah. It's quite unusual. Yeah. So why don't you want Kaiser to be judged?
I believe that the theme is self-explanatory. We live in a world where don't all judge people, don't all judge each other. People judge you, you judge people. It could be based on different bias or prejudices, but it is what it is. Don't judge is me talking about how my life, taking people, on a journey around my life, and also taking them on a journey around our world through my eyes. And I'm saying, don't judge me for this. This is me. This is how I see the world. This is how I see life. So don't judge me.
There's a lot to judge about you. Besides your hair, your name as well.
Yeah.
So let's also get that out of the way. Quite a lot of things to get out of the way with you.
I know, right?
So your name.
Time? Yeah.
We'll try as much as possible. Okay. So your name.
Yeah.
What is it? How did you get that name? And what?
So Kez is my last name. It's my family name. It's of Afizere tribe in Jos, Plateau State.
Just Case.
Yeah, we have very funny names in Jos.
It's really cool, I should say.
Yeah, we have very funny names. Gowon is a Plateau man. Ice Prince is also Plateau. His name is Amani. That's his real name. Case is my family last name. It means the special one. But Kojah was a nickname I picked up from secondary school. Kojah Games, the All Africa Games at the time. I just changed the spelling. That was all I did, and it stuck. It was a household name in secondary school, actually. Like, there are people who till today do not even know that Kojah is not my real name. Like, I have friends who do not know. Like, one time, like when I got admission into the university, into Unilag at the time, one of my close friends' mother saw me because I had gotten the admission. So I went to their house. She was like, Kojah, what's happening now? This Unilag, they cheat people. We didn't see your name on the merit list. I was just smiling. I was like, my name is there.
It was right there in front of you, but you didn't know.
She was like, I checked now, we didn't see your name. I said, my name is there. She brought out the newspaper. I was like, show us your name. And I said, your name, Naima. I said, so you have this kind of name, but he turned it to Kojah. I was like, oh boy, I didn't plan it. It just happened, and it stuck really.
Yeah, and it's interesting because and this is going back to judging you. Maybe that's a general theme of our conversation. I know, right? When I look at you, right, I don't see a comedian first. Well, if you appeared, and let me just land on this, my judgment. Yeah. You can contest it at the appeal court or not. So imagine I were to see you backstage for a show, and maybe the show director. I'll say, oh, the singer is here, because I'm seeing you and I'm thinking, oh, maybe he's an artist and not a comedian. I'll most likely not say, oh, yeah, a comedian and go upstage. Do you get that a lot? And why comedy really for you?
I'll answer the first question. Since day one, I've been getting that. Since day one. I remember one time in my early days, my very early days, I went for one gig one time, and the girl who had spoken to me on phone to come for the gig, the producer, we had spoken on phone, countless times to come for the gig, but she had not seen me. So when I got backstage, and I remember she just walked in, she was like, all right, where's your CD? You're the next artist performing.
I'm glad I'm not the only one at that table.
I was like, no, I'm Kojah. She was like, are you serious? So, I mean, I don't even know what a comedian looks like. I don't know if there's a typical look for a comedian. Does Trevor Noah look like a comedian? Does he look like your typical comedian? I don't think there's a typical look. Like I said, who I am, one of one, if you judge me.
Well, speaking of Trevor, comedians maybe along the line develop their eccentricity. You remember, during COVID or after COVID, he began to be more adventurous with his hair. So,
well, that's true, actually.
So maybe you guys have something in common.
I guess so.
So why comedy for you? Again, I'm judging you. Right, because I'll judge that you. Yeah. You know what? Let me stop judging you. Just answer why comedy.
So I know that this next answer might sound a bit cliche, but I don't think I chose comedy. I honestly don't, because the truth is there was a period in my life, especially in my early days in uni, where I wanted to run away from all of this, but it just kept on pulling me. I remember one time when I think it was my second year. So I had a plan to go into the University of Lagos because of the environment and just chase this, career path. But I remember at some point I was like, I'm not doing this. Let me just face my education, bag my degree, and one time we're having a discussion in my room, and there was one of my roommates at the time, Beto. He looked at me. He was like, do you know you're one of the funniest persons I've seen in my life? Like, it's not even just about being funny. It was like, your humor is special. It's different. It's stand-up comedian funny. And I told him that, okay, this is the initial plan to chase this thing, but right now I don't know if I really want to do it. And he just went all out. He started telling everybody on campus.
Bethel.
Yes, Bethel, that's his name. Shout out to Bethel, by the way. He just went on, he started telling everybody on campus that Kojah is my roommate, he does this, he does that. And from that night, I just started getting gig, and that was it.
In Unilag?
I swear, my first gig that night was explosive, and that was it. From that point on, that was it.
Interesting story, and maybe it's an encouragement to someone who's watching out there. Yeah. But you say that comedy chose you, but if you look closely at the scene right now, it's a very busy scene, and giving the economy there quite a number of challenges. Yeah. But you're also an event host.
Yes, I am.
You're also an actor. Yes, so is it a case of, if I try this, if this one doesn't work, this one will work? So on the list of priorities, which is more important for you? Which would you do without collecting
without collecting what?
Without collecting a check.
I'll collect check for everything. Which one is without collecting check? When I say comedy chose me, I mean it. Like, my whole life I've been involved in the arts. I've been doing this since I was like 4. I started in church as a 4-year-old. Yeah, I've been doing music. I've been acting in dramas in church. I've been doing all of this, but the humor has always just been there, and all of it is encompassing. Actually, like, showbiz is what it is. We have comedians, television hosts, who right now as television hosts, who probably started as stand-up comedians. Ellie DeGeneres started as a stand-up comedian. She became mainstream with, her being a television host. Jim Carrey started as a stand-up comedian. He hit mainstream with the movie The Mask, I think, or Ace Ventura. Adam Sandler, the list is endless. It's all encompassing. It's the arts. You just branch off and do a lot of stuff. Not everyone is gifted to be able to branch off and, venture into this and venture into that. Some of us are just blessed to.
So comedy precedes, and all other things, as you say,
yes, all other things follow.
So you'd rather go for, do a show first before you go for, take a role in a movie?
Yeah, stand-up is my life, yeah.
Well, the beauty about art is you can put everything together in one, right? Yeah. And I think that's just the beauty about art. Maybe other parts of life, but there's something I need to know this morning, so I can know how to judge you yet again.
This is your judgment.
There's been a back and forth. So are you like a 30BG guy or a Wizkid FC guy?
I'm an outsider.
You're an outsider. Good. So how do you view what is currently going on? Because you look to politics and there's a lot of drama, right?
Yeah.
We just talked about the reverse state politics. It's literally unending.
Yeah.
You look to, international issues too, and there's wars. There's back and forth. Israel, Iran, Hezbollah, Lebanon, Syria, this one, that one, Ukraine, Russia. So you're like, okay, fine. Let me face entertainment. And then you just jump into entertainment and there's Whiskey David you're taking. You're like, where do we turn to? Come on. What is really going on? Because you're an outsider, right? But you're also an insider at the same time. Is this publicity for you? Is this just, what exactly is this? What do you see?
I wish both of them the very best, really. But I think that rivalry is a thing that is as old as, man's existence. Kane and Abel didn't even choose their rivalry. It just happened. Yeah, one person presented crops, the other person presented livestock, and they say, God, say, why your own small? Why? So these things are natural. Human beings are very emotional. People always feel the need to pitch people against each other. It's a natural human thing. Like, I think it's psychological. There are people who are probably watching this at home and feel like you're better than her and she's better than you, or you're more good looking or he's more good looking. It's just natural human psychology. But people tend to be very emotional about this thing. It could be business strategy from them. I do not care. We've had rivalry in the industry as old as time. There was Tupac and Biggie, Jay-Z and Nas, J. Cole, Drake and Kendrick. It's only natural. So sometimes the fan base just really fan this flame and it becomes really worse. People become very emotional. In some cases, we've had cases where, the artists come and say, inside story, the artists come later and say, okay, it was a strategy from, the record labels. Like, I remember one time, I think it was Bow Wow or Lil Romeo that said that, it was Lil Romeo that said when he came into the industry, the plan, he was cool with Bow Wow, but the media executives were like, no, let's create a rivalry. You are two young boys, you're good looking, the teenagers will be crazy about you. Let's create a rivalry. We don't want peace. And that was how their own rivalry started. So it could be business, it could just be ego, it could just be emotions, and it could just be the fan base, flaring flame that is non-existent.
Speaking of business, it was good to see how Basket Mouth turned that rivalry between him and AY into some form of marketing strategy for his new film. I'm not judging you now, let me warn you, but Basket Mouth or AY? Who did you queue behind while it lasted?
They'll be fine.
You're also an outsider in this one.
They'll be fine. I'm an outsider. I do not stress myself about things I do not have control about. I'm focused on my own work and my own art. These are two legends who have contributed their quota to the growth of the Nigerian entertainment scene. They'll be all right. They are matured made, I guess. Both of them are 50 or closing on 50. They'll make decisions that is best for themselves and their family. I'll really be a fool to take sides. I don't know them personally. I wake up every day focusing on myself and how I intend to be one of the greats on a global scale.
And they're making the money. So I want you to speak to this because you mentioned in passing, it might be the fan base. So, and I think the beauty about entertainers, let me just give a background to this, is you understand people, you're able to move crowds. So you can tell, for example, when a crowd is moody, you know what to do just to, get them excited. And you are actually manipulators. Let me use that.
For lack of better words.
And I'm putting that in a very good sense. You know how to move people and all of that. So you understand people very well. It's like another way into psychology. You didn't maybe study psychology, but you've been able to learn it firsthand. So do you think that the fans, and I have to be careful here, do you think the fans need to do better? Let me just be safe. Do you think they need to do better? They need to be wiser, more discerning, so that they don't... some of the things are needless, right? Maybe it makes money for the artist, but it just causes you a headache and a heartbreak. You lose friends and all of that. So do you think the fans, the people out there, need to do better?
They don't know. That's the thing. They don't have an idea. That's why it's business. Like, the fans don't. Like I said, you cannot control how, to a very large extent, you cannot control how people see things. You cannot control people's perception. And I've just seen the kind of arguments that happens on the streets. I've just seen how the kind of takes people have on the streets. Whiskey get money past the video. If not the video, papa money. Like, people they don't know. They just choose these things and they run away with the narrative. You telling them to do better is like, I don't know, Messi and Ronaldo's rivalry is there.
Am I expecting too much for them?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think you're expecting too much from the people, honestly. Just leave them to just enjoy these things.
It's a result of lack of education, lack of employment. And again, I've said this with all sense of responsibility.
So I don't even think it's education. I mean, if you go on Twitter, for instance, I mean, there are educated people who have their own takes on this issue. Like I said, it could just be human psychology and emotion. You do not have control over these things. Some people see and they don't like you. How do you... What do you have to say about that? You can't even defend yourself. It's not even about you. It's not even in your hands at that point. That's why I talked about you not being able to control certain things, you know. And it's not like this fan base, they are not even privy to some of this information.
They can be together in the same place.
It must be a challenge, you know, really, trying to make them laugh in this economy, you know, where there's nothing to laugh about. I mean, yes, I was trying to make Kylie laugh, and what they ended up telling me was very funny, but I forgot to laugh.
Yeah.
But I eventually laughed when I remembered to laugh.
He didn't laugh. So do you feel that kind of pressure as a comedian, you know, trying to make people laugh? Have you ever, you know, experienced a situation where a client asked for his money back?
So I feel like life has always been tough. There's nothing new under the sun. There has been economic downturns at different points in the world. It's your job as a comedian to, you know, understand these things. Like you rightly said, comedy is largely psychology, you know. And I've not experienced a situation where a client asked for a refund, but, you know, it's a job at the end of the day. There are bad days. Even the greats have bad days. You know, some comedians might come and tell you that they've not had bad days. Okay, no wahala. You know, but then there are bad days. It's only left to you to go back and, you know, re-strategize and think about what you didn't do right and, you know, just come out, you know, flaming again, basically. It's like every other job.
We have to anchor at this point, but I need to know, what's your dream? Big dream. Where do you see yourself?
In a few years, I'll be selling out the biggest and the most iconic theaters and auditorium around the globe.
Boom. Kojah Case. Absolutely. It's lovely to see.
Karen, should we go without having a taste of that selling out, you know, before it happens?
What's it without?
Kojah Case, so this is what we'll do.
Yeah.
I know your materials are out there on YouTube and all of that. Because of time, we will enjoy it backstage and tell the people.
Okay, I do. That's
lovely.
I do. That makes more sense. If you go on YouTube, Kojah K is Kojah space Kaze. My special is out there. Don't judge me. Please stream. It's an amazing comedy body of work. I mean, this will be one of the greatest comedy body of work to ever drop. And, you know, just go out there, stream, guys. Stream, you'd love it.
We have to thank you so much, Kojah Case. At the end of the day, when we watch it, we might judge you, but hey, it's what we do as human beings. Thank you very much. Wish you the very best.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Fantastic having you on the show.
Thank you.
So Kojah K has big dreams to sell out the biggest shows. What are yours? Your dreams are valid, whatever they are, and keep those dreams alive. So join us again tomorrow when we bring you our own dreams and try to make it happen. I am Bukola Koka. Sunrise Daily is next. Stay with us right here on Channels Television. Have a great day. I'm Kayode Ukele. Goodbye.